Hey guys, how's it going? Crippen here. So, over the last few days, I've really tried to make this discharge build work. I mentioned it in the last video that, finally get to play it. It is a really cool ability in this game. I'll show you guys here. Discharge, so it consumes the charges that you got. And prior to a few days ago, I thought the best way to approach this skill was to stack a lot of crit because of its 8% base crit chance, and you just crit everything on the screen every single time, and it just evaporates. So that was one way to do it, but the other way to do it is to use endurance charges and combine it with pro lift chance to ignite, and for a little bit extra damage, I like to use fire pin in this case, and I'll show you guys why. But pretty much, I've been streaming this build, and it's been a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people have grown to like it. So I want to show you guys what it's about and kind of what I have planned for my character in the Onslaught League, because I think I have finally settled onto a character that I want to play, forever in this league. Kind of like my freeze pulsar. Took a little bit to get started, a little bit to understand what I wanted to do. I think this is it, and I'm sure you guys would appreciate to know what's going on. So this character just died. Let's not talk about that. But it's level 57, and it was a lot of fun. I don't really mind dying because level 57 was so cool. I don't have Life Leech on my Searing Touch. It's only a 4-link. Searing Touch is a really nice weapon because it boosts the level of your Discharge by 2, which is a lot, and it boosts your burning damage, which is really significant, as a matter of fact. So this character, to get started, I have to use Enduring Cry to get some endurance charges. 3 is all you really need, but I can get a few more. And then you cast Discharge, and the targets that are getting hit by the Discharge have an individual chance to be burned, and that chance gets proliferated onto other enemies. That's why they die, even though they don't get killed by the impact. As you can see, those monsters get killed by the burn. The curse that I'm using is one that people typically don't use. It's Warlord's Mark. I use Warlord's Mark because Warlord's Mark 1 gives you a lot of extra flask charges, which lets me spam the flask charges, the flasks that I use, which are Quicksilvers and Granites. And 2, it's also really cool because it gives you endurance charge when you get a kill. So with this build, I use Fire Pen, so I don't have to deal with monsters that have capped fire resist, which are actually the ones that I'm in the zone, resist fire. And it lets me have continuity with the character, so I can just keep on going. This is very important because if I didn't have this, I'd have to use Enduring Cry pretty much on every single pack. And while I could use a curse for damage like Flammability, as you can tell, it's not really necessary, and it's just a lot faster to use Warlord's Mark. I think in endgame, obviously, in maps, other people don't really appreciate the fact that you'll be using Warlord's Mark, so you may have to compensate, use Flammability. I just want to do with this character sometimes, like with Fire Traps, just to kill single rares. It's not really a big deal. So it's a good idea to have Flammability because you won't always be able to use Warlord's Mark in groups. So this character's gear is pretty good. Have some nice pieces, but overall it's just a 4-linked spell, and this build eventually does go CI. While I killed the Magic Reflect there, it is a very, very risky thing to do. So this character right now, I went through the life passives. I have almost no damage passives at all. My damage passives are Celestial Walker. I was thinking of getting Elementalist, but my damage was enough. The increased radius. I just get all the life, Iron Reflex, more life. I was going to get this Endurance Charge and Unwavering Stance. So pretty much what you see is nearly 0 damage passives, and I am one-shotting monsters. Eventually I plan to get Blast Radius and perhaps get Eldritch Battery to run some more auras, but it's not really that big of a deal. This character does need to go CI. It needs to go CI because eventually endgame the damage is too much. If you go a life build, you can't really use Volpack successfully without having huge penalties. But if you go CI, you can go Ghost Reaver, Life Leech, or Volpack, which gives you instant Life Leech. So as long as you don't one-shot yourself against one target, you won't one-shot yourself ever using this ability because the life is gained from each individual target in between the hits. So when you blow up, you hit 20 targets, you do damage to one target, you get leeched back, you do damage to another target, you get leeched back, so it's just on, off, and off. And all you need to really account for is not killing yourself against one target, which is the main weakness of the build that I had planned to use for my prior 2 characters. And that was a crit discharge build, because you have to account for the worst possible scenario monster. Not like, oh, well, that monster has reflect, 18% reflect, I can cover that. No, there's going to be a monster in there with extra damage. You're going to be in an extra damage map. It's going to have reflect. It may have shock stacks. You might have shock stacks. There's a lot to account for, and if you actually add it all up, almost no build can survive every situation with Volpact. But this build with CI, with Volpact, survives to a much more reasonable degree. So this is very, very important with the build. Honestly though, I think the character that I'm leveling now, which is exactly this build again because it's so much fun, I'll probably die to reflect while I'm still a life-based character. But if I'm lucky enough, if I play well enough, if I play carefully enough, maybe we'll get to the mid-80s where I plan to switch to CI, and I'll include the build for the CI and for the life build in the description, so you guys can check that out, and you guys can probably imagine what the build will be like once it's complete. So I'll give you guys some updates about that, but for now it's a lot more discharge than left to do, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope I don't die until then.